Like, I wasn't the girl that ever went to prom. Like, my boyfriend was 30 when I was in high school. I know.
Her boyfriend was 30 when she was in high school.
That's crazy. Back then, the slogan was a happy wife, a happy life. No, I ain't never been my motherfucking slogan. I mean, shit. My slogan, happy husband, we ain't fucking fussing.
Hey, that's real talk, man. Happy wife, happy life is the most beta male semi-vagina statement I've ever heard, man. Like, that means that you spend your life trying to make a woman happy and basing your happiness on that. Think about the concept of that. You spend your life on a woman's happiness, hoping and praying that that makes your life happy. No, let me tell you something. Happiness is not the opposite of misery. Misery is not the opposite of happiness. Happy life, happy wife only means your life may not be miserable. That don't mean you happy. If you spend all your time making somebody else happy, you ain't got no time to make yourself happy. And I can promise you that making that woman happy is not going to make you happy, bro.
You can go anywhere to get the lies, but I know you came here to get the truth. Welcome to the AlphaSphere. Welcome to the AlphaSphere, the only place on the planet that's totally engulfed in positivity and totally submerged in alpha energy. I'm your host, Dr. BOA.
Like, I wasn't the girl that ever went to prom. Like, my boyfriend was 30 when I was in high school.
I want y'all to think of something. I want you to think about all the women and all the suckers who was saying Ime Udoka lost a good thing and he messed up a good world and she was such a good girl and she was so amazing. Man, that girl was cutting grown men when she was in high school. She was way advanced. Who knows what else she's done? And that she's so freely speaking on this. We don't know what age she was in high school. Man, she could have been 16, 15. We don't know. And let me tell you something. She can't tell me that grown man, that they weren't being intimate. So here's the one we talking about in high school, man, was already being intimate with grown men. Didn't have no husband, but she was being intimate with grown men. Ime Udoka didn't lose net, and that's probably why he was tipping out on her. That old box, man, it ain't the same.
My mother was crazy, but you know what? I would never, ever I mean that in a good way. Like, she was an artist. She was like, well, if that's who you love, baby. And he was so good to me and kind and like.
Now, I want you to think about the fact that here's a modern woman whose mother wasn't even traditional. Nobody around her was traditional. And I'm going to tell you, the only place this happens, if you're black, is in the hood. So now we have a woman admitting she's a hood chick. Because in the burbs, it ain't no woman with her daddy in her house. No woman in a position where she living in a 2-parent household with her dad, if finna be okay with her dating a 30-year-old man with her ass in high school. It ain't finna happen. It is not going to happen. It ain't gonna happen. Because her dad gonna already know one thing. If he ain't finna put no ring on you, he ain't finna do nothing. And you see, she didn't say anything about her dad. She said her mom. So she was in a single mom home. Her mom was an artist. One of those free spirits. There are no traditional women. The tradition, man, let me tell you something. Just real talk. If you younger than 30, your ass ain't never seen traditional woman a day in your life. If you younger than 30, you have never seen a traditional woman. You don't know what a traditional woman is. You wouldn't recognize traditional woman if you saw one. A traditional woman is a myth to you. It's like Bigfoot to you, man. It's like the giants of old. A traditional woman is folklore to you, man, if you're younger than 30. You don't know what that means? Last traditional woman I saw, man, I was a kid. I'm talking about 4, 5, 6 years old. You don't know what in the hell a traditional woman is, bro. So let's stop acting like women are supposed to be traditional and you're traditional and this society is traditional. If this was traditional, that woman wouldn't get on there and say that. We live in Hollywood, dog. Every day we wake up, we live in Hollywood. Right now, y'all watching me on TV. We live in Hollywood, man. How many, you know what? Let's take a minute right here. Put a 1 in the chat if you don't look at least one thing on the internet every day. Whether you're searching Google or anything, if you don't get on the internet at least once a day, put a 1 in the chat. And don't be lying, man. I'm talking about if you go on there for anything, if you check your email, if you're on the internet for anything, don't put a 1 in the chat. If you ain't never on the internet for nothing, put a 1 in the chat. I'm telling you, homie, it's different. We live in a modern world, dog. Technology is modern. The internet is modern. Listen, we walk around with small computers in our hands all day, bro. You know what I'm saying? And some of us got two. Some of us got 2 small computers in our hand. And I'm talking to y'all on a big computer now. We have personal pocket computers on us all day long, and we can access anything. You can check your bank account. You can check your credit report. You can email somebody, man. You can check everything, man. You can order your food. You can do every single thing on your personal computer in your pocket. Get the hell out of here talking about you're a traditional man. When the last time you picked up a house phone? That's tradition. When the last time you sat at the table with your family and had dinner? That's tradition. When the last time you took a 12-hour, 14-hour, 15-hour road trip? That's tradition. Them time gone, dog. They gone.
You right? And he did it the right way.
How does a 30-year-old man come to a high school girl the right way? Let's listen to this.
I wasn't the girl that he went to her. He was from Oman. He went to her and he said, I love your daughter and I want to date your daughter. And he asked permission. Look at your face. You're like.
Now let me tell you something. If that was a man in her life, if that her daddy was in her life, that man would have had to come say, hey man, I want to marry your daughter. Ain't no man finna let no grown ass man come date, which means sleep with his high school daughter. Ime Udoka didn't lose shit. He dodged a bullet. He was finna marry this broad, man. Ime Udoka dodged a bullet. Shout out to Ime Udoka. He'll coach again. He's a phenomenal coach. He'll coach again. But shout out to him for dodging this bullet. Because he's about to marry a acknowledged scallywag who been a scallywag from the time she was in high school. Come on, man. Let's be real.
That ain't happening with my baby. But you know what he taught me? Because he owned a hair salon. He taught me how to do my own hair and makeup.
Really?
So I got that. He went to her. He was from Oman.
Let me tell you something. Here's a woman talking about when she was in high school. She learned how to do her hair and makeup from a 30-year-old man who got permission from her mama to date her. It's not that he asked. It's the fact that her mama gave a 30-year-old man permission to date her, not wife her, not put a ring on it, not do any of that, not take care of her, to date her. Her mama gave a 30-year-old man permission to smash her daughter, her high school age daughter. Can you imagine if that very man was sitting next to her as she was spilling the beans on that aspect of her life? What would happen to that man? What would they say about that man? What would they do to that man? What if a man came on and said, when I was 30, I was dating a high schooler? What if a 30-year-old man right now come on and say, I am dating a high schooler? What if a 25-year-old man come on and say, I'm dating a high schooler? I used to date a high schooler when I was 25. High school ranges on average from 14 to 18. From 14 to 18. Now, 18 in most states is legal. Some states is younger than that, but in almost all states, and pretty much in every state, 18 is legal. But if she's still in high school, why is a 30-year-old man picking up his girlfriend from high school? That's the hood. When I was in high school, the paid D-boy who was already gone, the plug, he used to come and get the pretty girl from high school. So not only is she a hood rat, she's a promiscuous hood rat who been smashing guys who were old enough to be her big brother, at least her uncle, since she was in high school, dog. That's crazy, man. When you really think about it, it makes no sense. But she is not a traditional woman. And these are not traditional times. And they have not been traditional times since most of you have been in the world.
Since most of you have been in the world.